most recent TikTok nonsense around bridal makeup, I decided to come up with a solution and shoot this video to show you how to do, if that ever were to happen to you, if you were ever to have a last minute cancellation and not be able to find and secure a bridal beauty artist for your big day, how to get ready from start to finish. And so of course we're going to start in the bathroom with skincare. Now, I am located in Austin, Texas, and I specialize in bridal beauty makeup here in Austin, Texas. And I'm an airbrush artist for that reason. But today I'm going to show you how you can use what you have at home or what you may already have in your makeup kit to do your makeup in the case you can't find an artist. First things first, it is very important that your skin is on point. So hydration, hydration, hydration. We want that makeup to melt onto your skin and look like butter, look like skin, right? So for your big day, it is important that you are hydrating your skin. So your skincare is going to be the foundation for your foundation. For today, I'm going to go in with a cleansing balm to start my skincare, and I'm going to steam. You don't necessarily have to steam, but if you want to, you can do your cleansing balm and then hop in the shower with it on your face to let all the ingredients like do its thing and like open your pores and get the best benefit of your cleansing balm or your face wash for that matter. But hydration is key, so I'm gonna take you through the steps of what I would do if I were in this case and I need to do my own makeup on my wedding day. So let's go in with my cleansing balm, and always make sure your hands are clean. All right, so the directions for this particular balm, it says to go in with on dry skin and to massage it into the skin. And we're gonna do just that. While we're doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and turn on my steamer because I want to open up my pores to allow this to function as a mask. Alright, so while I'm steaming, I've been dealing with dry lips. I'm going to go in with my KBZ lip scrub and Supple Citrus and scrub my lips. I'm not sure if y'all can see how smooth my lips are. They're super smooth and super soft. Like, I literally got rid of all the dead skin. They don't feel like, you know how some things can burn but they don't feel irritated. You can scrub to your liking obviously, but they feel super smooth. Now that my face is washed, I'm going to go in and tone before I put on my face mask. So I'm going to go ahead and go in with my toner. And this may not be something that's in your skincare. Don't feel like you're obligated to do it, but this is in my skincare. And it is important that I follow my skincare steps to ensure the best results. I do have to say this. It is very important that you allow your skincare ingredients to fully absorb before you go to the next step, because what we don't want is patchy makeup. And so in order to avoid that, one of the ways to avoid that is to make sure that our skincare is absorbing so that way it can work and that it's not going to interfere with the makeup we apply in the next few steps. So I'm gonna go ahead and go in with this face mask. I really love face masks. I think they're slept on, but they really do, like, I like this. I go between this one and then I'm gonna put a picture of the other one that I like right here. And also Neutrogena's Hydro Boost because it has hyaluronic acid, and I love the hydration. So we're gonna go ahead and put this bad boy on. We're gonna sit with it, and then we're gonna finish our skincare. Typically, when I'm working with the bride and I'm using this, doing this process, they typically have hair. So when I get to this part, because we have to leave it on, I like, for the 10 minutes, I'm either massaging their hands and arms with lotion or styling their hair for their wedding. Alright, now that we're done with our mask, let's go ahead and just rub this in. And again, we need to make sure that this is absorbing into the skin before we go to our next step in our skincare. It's gonna dry down. You don't necessarily need a fan, but because I just want to make sure that everything's dry down and super absorbent. As y'all can see, like, the skin looks super hydrated. And I'm going to go in with just a few of my skincare serums, vitamin C, hyaluronic acid, and then a moisturizer. That's all I'm going to do. And then we're going to go to the vanity and start the process for the makeup. Go ahead and rub in that vitamin C. Get it all absorbed into my skin. Now I'm gonna go with my hyaluronic acid. I'm gonna make sure I put the hyaluronic acid also on my lips before I apply my lip conditioner. I don't want to use too much hyaluronic acid, but since I'm gonna be taking this down onto my neck as well, we're gonna place some on the lips, some on the face, on the neck, and a little bit in the chest area, and rub it. We're gonna give that about 30 to 45 seconds to absorb, maybe like closer to a minute to absorb before I put on my moisturizer. In the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and put on my KBZ lip conditioner. It is shea butter based, so it's going to be more of a sealant. It's going to lock in that moisture, and it's going to be super, super soft. It just melts. It just melts. Oh, it feels so good. I love how soft my lips feel after doing my lip care routine. I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. Look, like y'all, look at that. And this is definitely gonna make a difference when it comes down to lining my lip and putting on whatever lipstick or lip gloss I'm gonna do for this look. So KBZ lip care is the GOAT. Okay, so I'm done. The hyaluronic acid has absorbed, and I love the way my skin is feeling here. I'm gonna go in with just, when I say a little bit, like a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of moisturizer just to seal in what I've already done. But I still want this kind of, the way that I want my skin to still feel like this when I apply my foundation and everything else. And if you wanna know what moisturizer I'm using Embryolisse. It is a moisturizer that also acts as a primer, which I love things like that. I'm going in, when I say a little bit, I do mean a little bit, just a little bit, not a lot. I don't want to over moisturize, because if we do that, we run the risk of our makeup sliding and getting patchy. So we're just gonna, oh, that is, now my skin feels really good. Let's bring this down. All right, so let's go ahead and head over to the vanity and let's get ready to do our wedding day makeup. Okay, so now that we've done skincare, we're at the vanity and it's time to actually do the makeup application. We're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna prep the skin. So I typically get oily, so I'm gonna go ahead and prep my skin for oily. Okay, so I'm gonna go in with the Danessa Myricks Water Powder Serum in my T-zone area, and then I'm going to go over it with this her Blurring Balm and Universal, just to ensure that I don't get any oiliness in my T-zone. You may have a primer that works for you, especially if you're oily. This is where you're gonna go ahead and apply this primer. So that is a primer, a priming serum, which I love. I'm just gonna put it in the areas that I typically get oily, super, super oily, and I'm gonna let that dry down. Not sure if you can tell the difference in like the center of my face, like how these high points are, and then like how this kind of already starts blurring out. So I'm gonna go in with just a little bit of blurring balm on my finger. So I'm gonna do a little swirl, and I'm gonna also press right over here, because this is where I get oily the most, right here near my nose area. And so I just want to make sure. And this also acts as a primer, so I love that. But I just want to also just make sure that we are not getting oily by any means necessary. Like, I don't mind like the dew points here, my hot points, but me personally, I want to make sure I'm not getting oily in this area. Next thing we are going to do is color correct. So I have this color corrector, but actually, and I also use the shade Core in the Danessa Marix palette, but it's almost gone. It is actually my favorite color corrector. But if you have a color corrector and that's what you use, go ahead and color correct. And so I'm gonna go ahead and color correct in all the areas that need it, like my under eye. Now this is important. Never do your makeup with dirty brushes. Never do your makeup with dirty brushes. So I'm just kind of blend this out. I kind of want it to, I'm just going to tap it because I still want it to be concentrated, because what I don't want to blend it too much to where I lose the coverage that is correcting the color. And then after I go in with this, I'm going to go in with a powder to set. All right, so now that I have covered all of these and put, you know, do what I need to do with my color corrector, I'm going to go in with a loose powder. I like going in with a loose powder that is the color of my undertone. But if that, you know, you can use, I would stay away from translucent powder. That is the only thing I would recommend, is not to use a translucent powder. And I'm going to go in with a powder puff. I'm going to tap off the excess on the back of my hand, and I'm just going to press it in those areas that I had color corrected. And as you can see how like it disappears. It looks really good. And this is going to make a huge difference in the next things that I apply, because now that color corrector is camouflaged and I'm not needing to put on too much of anything to cover them. So we have to be mindful when we're using our color correctors. And if you don't have one and if this is not a step for you, you can definitely skip said step. And here's the pro reason why I'm using a powder that mimics my undertone, is to bring balance back, because I don't want to have to like overly correct something in my foundation. Like, I don't want the red to obviously show through and I'm having to put on a lot with this. And again, this may not be your step. You may not need this. You may already have a technique that works for you, so use that. All right, I'm done. I know that you can probably still see some of the powder on my face, and that is fine. I'm gonna go on and lightly dust any excess powder off before moving to the next step. Again, you want to also make sure you're using clean brushes. So we're just gonna just lightly dust some of this off, any excess powder. I don't like using too much powder, because if you use too much of any product, it's just gonna look cakey, and we don't want a cake face. We don't want cake face. I'm gonna go ahead and go in with my under eye concealer, and we're gonna go with a little bit, not a lot, and we can build up. When I say a little bit, I do mean a little bit. I just want to make sure that we are covered and corrected under my eye. And when doing your bridal makeup, less is more, and you always want to start with a little bit and work your way up, because you can always add to, but it's a lot harder to take away. And especially on a day that is very it's not necessarily stressful, but on a day like that, in your wedding day, you don't want to, you know, add any extra stressors, especially if you don't have an artist on the day of and you're doing this to just ensure that you have your makeup done for your wedding. So I went in with Max Fixing Spray. You can actually use a bit, I wouldn't use a setting spray. I mean, you can, I sometimes do, and I'm just gonna go in with that powder puff and blend it out, like tap it out. The reason I wouldn't use a setting spray is because it's going to leave it in place, and we don't want to set it just yet, and then because we need to be able to blend it. All right, so now that we have done the under eye and it's brightened and it's concealed, we're gonna go ahead and go in with our foundation. So today I'm gonna go in with my Lancome foundation. What I really love about this foundation is that it actually has SPF in it, so there is some skin protection there. I'm gonna start with one pump, and we're gonna go in with a semi-fluffy brush. I guess I'm gonna use the one I use it to dust. I'm going with a rounded fluffy brush, and so the one I had used to dust off those powders, I'm just going and just kind of tap and just kind of get it all over my brush first, and then we're just going to place it. And we're going to start below where we've done this part, and there is a reason for that. So we're going to also take that foundation also up, like we're going to start below, but we're going to also take it up into where we did our under eye brightener. And the reason is we don't want a starking bright under eye. We want it to be balanced out, and I'm gonna show you exactly how to do this. Now that my foundation, I like to bring it all down and like slightly in the center of my face, and bring it down my neck, and whatever other area needs a little bit of coverage. Now here's the fun part. We're gonna go in and balance out the colors, right? So it doesn't fall flat and so forth. Trust the process. So I have a Graftobian foundation palette here. I'm gonna go in with a sponge, and I'm gonna go in with the colors to reverse contour, like highlight down here, go back in the center of my face and chin area to just bring back up this color in here. So you can also do it with your concealer, but personally I like to do a different shade in my cheek area. So I will take two colors and mix. I don't want it to be super bright down here. And I'm following this part of my ear to place this. So we're gonna slightly start to sculpt out my face. All right, let's go down the bridge of my nose with this, the center of my face. Also go under my eye. I don't want to go right up under there. I just want to kind of go right here in this area with that same color. And I don't want to do a lot. And a little with this palette I absolutely love goes a long way. So with this color, there we go. All right, and I'm just gonna go in and blend all that out. So I'm gonna actually take a little bit of Studio Fix. I mean, what is this? Not Studio Fix, Fix Plus. And just wet my face a little bit and make it easier to blend this out without it getting patchy. And I'm gonna use this brush. I mean, obviously I've already used it. I just thought I'd hit record. Just blending out those edges and just pressing this into the skin so that those colors can meld together. Now that I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and go in with a bronzer. And I like to use the Vanessa Myers Vision Flush in Toasted Almond. I'm going to put a little bit on my little hand palette. And we're just going to go ahead and just bronze up the areas and softly sculpt out. So I'm going to go in with a rounded brush like this with a bit of a tip, a small one, so I can control it a little bit more. And then we're just going to go ahead and bronze me up. And let me tell you something. On your wedding day, I know most people, a lot of my clients, they don't like a lot of makeup. So this is why I do airbrush. But I also do airbrush because of how it also photographs. It photographs beautifully. But if you obviously are doing this yourself, like the reason you're watching this video is because you're doing it yourself. You haven't done it yourself. You want to make sure that those colors are popping a lot more, because you are going to have a lot of lighting on you, and you really want that to be picked up in photography. So you don't have to do a lot, but it's just certain shades, like this bronzer color right here. I just love like how warm it is, but it also it photographs beautifully, and it definitely helps softly sculpt my face and lip area, my bottom lip, just to kind of like, not contour, I'm just gonna sculpt it out. It's not a contour. Contour is adding shadows. I'm gonna take the same color and then go with another brush and go along my nose with it. Take that up in my brow and then blend it out. Well, out the nose. Same on the other side. We're gonna just place it. And if you notice, I'm not bringing it all the way down the bridge of my nose. Like, I'm bringing it to a certain point of the bridge of my nose, because not all nose shape need that straight down. My nose shape does not. I'm gonna just do the little tips right here. Now, this is preference. If you don't want to contour or don't have anything to contour, but you have bronzer, you could stay here, and you could also take your bronzer here on the chin line to just kind of sculpt that out just a bit. And that's what I'm going to do. I typically do not contour, depending, I guess it just depends on the type of look I'm going for. And for today's look, since it's pretty bridal and I really want to do, most people don't have a lot of the shades that I typically have in my kit, but most people have neutrals, and they may have a gold or champagne shimmer, or pinks, right? So we're gonna stick in that family, and for that, I don't want to heavily contour my face. For that, we're just going to leave the sculpting with the bronzer, which I absolutely love. I love the way this looks. And now we're just gonna go ahead and move to eyes. So I'm gonna go ahead and go in with a brow gel just to set my brow hairs in place. Not everybody has a brow gel, and that is okay. You don't necessarily need to have one. But me personally, I like it just to set my brows in place because they kind of move all over the place. Now, if you don't do brow gel, or you're not a brow gel fan, that is perfectly fine. Just make sure that you are taking a spoolie to brush through your brow to have your hairs go the way that you want them to go. So I'm gonna fill in my brows and carve them out. To fill in my brow, I'm gonna go in with the Benefit Precisely My Brow Detailer. I absolutely love it. To fill it in. And because of how thick my brows are, hair-like strokes in certain areas, this is going to do the trick. I'm not going to need to super fill it in. We're just going to go with some hair-like strokes. And my brows are sisters. Most brows are sisters, not twins. So keep that in mind. I know, unless you have a specific way that you do your brow, it's okay. I just like to fill in that top part because it gets a little sparse over here for me. So I've already kind of have the general shape and it's already filled in. I'm gonna go in with a flat brush, and I'm gonna show you in just a second, and carve it out, just to give me a little bit of more defined shape within my brow. So I'm gonna go in with this Anastasia Beverly Hill brush. I've had this brush for years, okay? And I do mean years. I've had this brush for as long as I started. That's how long I've had it. That's how long I had it. So I'm gonna go in with my Graftobian palette. The colors that I already mixed here when I was doing under my under eye, I'm just gonna just scoop that up and go under my brow and carve it out. You can always use your concealer for this as well, but I'm using what I have, and I want you to use what you have. So y'all see that line? We're gonna bring that line down and blend that out because we don't want that line to be that like noticeable. We don't. So we're gonna go ahead and take that brush and take it and bring it down, and you can get that blended down. It's great for a good brow highlight. If you notice, I did not take that line all the way up here. I started I went 3/4 of the way. So maybe this is like the 4th area of the brow. And the reason why is because we remember we took that bronzer up into the front of the brow. And I really want that to stay there. Now, see, my brow, it's blended. I brought it down, which is actually perfect because this is gonna act as a highlight in the brow bone area for me. I'm just gonna tap it with my finger. Your fingers are your best tools because you might not have a beauty blender. So I don't want to, you use what you got. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the same on this brow. All right, so my brows are done. And what I'm going to do is, to ensure that my eye color is popping, I'm going to actually go in with my concealer and apply like a little bit. One thing that you can use this as a primer, but do not put a lot on there because we don't want a lot to where we're seeing a lot of creasing. Like, skin's going to move, and that's fine. I'm going to take a brush because, again, like I said, you may not have a beauty blender. Or if you have a beauty blender, you can use a beauty blender, but I'm gonna just take a brush and just buff this out on my lid to just give an even canvas for the colors I'm about to put down. I really hope that this angle is right. Okay, so now we have an even canvas, right? We have it. Again, like I said, most people have a neutral palette in their beauty arsenal. So for me, I'm gonna go in with the Makeup by Mario eyeshadow palette, Masters the Neutral. Oftentimes I'm using this one, but not everybody has this one. This one, I mean, they're still neutrals, right? Any type of neutral palette that you have can have the MAC or anything like that. But I'm gonna go ahead and just go in with this one. And I'm gonna start within my crease color. So we're gonna start with a brown, like kind of a dark brown in my crease color. So I'm gonna go in with a rounded fluffy brush like this, and we're just gonna tap in there and definitely make sure we tap off the excess. We're gonna start on the outer corner and work our way in. Swipe like so, like that, like a windshield wiper. This just keeps it in the place, the area of which you want it. Go in and do it on the other side. Start on the outer corner and just take that bad boy in. Right about there. I probably should close my eyes, make a difference. It does make a difference if your eyes closed and open. All right, so we've done that part. You know, I don't want to make this ultraly complicated. So we're gonna go in with a lighter brown. So I'm gonna kind of go somewhere up in here and do that on my inner corner of my lid. And let's find a brush for that. I've actually learned this trick that you could use a powder puff. So I'm probably gonna use the same powder puff and just kind of go in with this lighter brown color and just place it. I actually like the control of that, and there we go. So like, cause let's say you don't have shimmers, right? This is all you got. Let's say you don't have any glitter, you don't have any gold or champagne. This right here would work. Going with that same brush I used earlier and just kind of just blend the top just to make sure we have those colors there. And then I would go in with a liner, an eyeliner. But let's say you do have shimmers. So we're gonna go in with a dark brown and a little bit like a brush that looks like this. We're gonna smudge that eyeliner like we're doing the eyeliner. So we're just gonna put it there like for eyeliner and just kind of take it back and forth and just kind of smudge it out. And the reason when I smudge is because when we actually go in with our eyeliner, it's going to make such a difference. And I love doing this on my brides. It gives such a dimension in the eye. It's so beautiful. And we're going to take that same eyeliner, same eyeshadow and go underneath and just smudge it. Sometimes I will tight line the waterline. And so it just depends on the bride. But for me personally, I do not like, because I don't know, it makes my eyes irritated. So sometimes I'm in the mood for it and sometimes I'm not. You don't necessarily have to. You could just take the same eyeshadow color. All right, so now that we have that down, we're gonna go in with our shimmer. We're gonna put our shimmer over that. Here's a pro tip that you could take a like flat brush like this and spray it with setting spray or like Fix Plus and pick up that shimmer, and it will definitely decrease the fallout. And so for me, I'm gonna go in with gold. I'm gonna go in with gold. I have a bit of gold from Pat McGrath. I'm just going to place that. Actually, this brush isn't working. Let's go with my finger. And then just, there we go. As I said, your fingers sometimes are your best tools. And so I'm going with my finger. All right, so I'm gonna tap in a little bit of this other shade of shimmer on top of my lid because I want to do extra blingity blingity bling. And most of the time, most brides do, it's your wedding day. You will kind of want your eyes to pop. So you can layer, if they're complementary, you can layer your shimmers. And in this case, they're complementary and I absolutely love it. And I kind of took it. There we go. I'm gonna just go back in and reinforce that dark brown on the outer corner. All right, so I want to deepen out these outer corners just to make my eyes pop a little bit more. So when I put on my liner and lashes, it makes a difference. But so far, this is where we are, and I'm actually in love with it. So let's go ahead and find a small detailed round brush like this. We're gonna go in with that same dark brown color. The same deep brown color, dark brown color right here. We're just gonna do those outer corners a little bit more, and we're gonna do circles because you really want that to be concentrated and to stay there. All right, now let's go ahead and do our liner. I'm gonna use a liquid liner. I typically use a cream one, but for this, I'm going to use a liquid liner. I'm just going to line. I personally like to start thin and then like make it a little bolder as I go out. All right, so now I have my liner. Let's go ahead and do the mascara. Again, like I said, I personally don't like to waterline, but you can tight line your waterline if that is your preference. All right, let's go ahead and go in with our mascara before we put our lashes on. You know, just kind of build up. So I actually added a little bit black on the outer corners just to give a little bit of a more pop, and it's going to make a difference when I put these lashes on. So my go-to bridal lashes are between the 424s and the 420s of Ardell, but for the look that I'm doing today, I'm gonna go ahead and do the 424s. If you're not a pro at applying lashes, a lash tool will definitely help you get that right there on your lash line. I will say, I know that they're your lashes, but I would definitely recommend you not blowing on them. Take like an object and fan them to kind of get them to dry down a bit, and then go ahead and apply your lashes. And place it. And ta-da, my lashes on. And I'm gonna make sure that that thing is, I will pinch it in just a second. And pinching it just ensures that there's no gap between your lash and the lash. But I wanna kinda let it dry down a bit because it still has a bit, the glue is still a bit wet. But this is gorgeous. And I have yet to put blush on. And I can't wait to put the blush on. But let me go ahead and put the other lash on off camera. And then we'll come back and do our blush, and our lips, and get ready for our wedding. All right, lashes are done. What do we think? Now I need to do my blush. I am going to go, and this is why I wait to set under my eye with the powder. It's because I want my blush to like really blend and kind of like be a very transition color between this and this. So I'm going to go in with a soft pink. So for bridal day, for bridal makeup, you kind of want to do golds and pinks and neutrals, and you know, like soft pinks and neutrals and champagnes and golds. And for the most part, people have those colors in their kit, right? So I'm gonna go in with my Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin and It Girl. I love this shade of pink. Okay, I love her. I'm gonna go in with this, and I also have a sample of her. I think this one's Ballerina. I can't remember, of her. What is it? Vision Flush. So I'm gonna go in with this one, and then I'm gonna go in with powder, and then over powder with the liquid. So So I'm going with kind of like a fluffy brush like this and just kind of tap in here and just pick up my product. And I'm gonna place it at the height of my cheekbone, here and here. And then just kind of blend that bad boy up. And then I'm gonna go in with my powder, because I kind of like to bring it a little bit under my eye. I'm gonna go in with my powder foundation. So I'm gonna take up the same, like a powder to set under my eye. I'm gonna be using the Sephora Micro Smooth Face Powder and 58, which is almond. And I'm gonna pick up some of those. I like to get a nice little coated amount and just press this here. And that's going to really set that transition for me. And then y'all can see, I don't think I'm gonna go in with the liquid. I actually like the way this looks here. It's a beautiful blend. It's a beautiful transition. I have that beautiful blush sitting perfectly, and it softens it up. And I might just take a little bit of the excess and just kind of top it off a little bit right in here. There we go. Love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. All right, now we just need to do our lips. And then we're gonna get dressed for our wedding. Y'all didn't think I was gonna make this video and not put in a wedding dress, duh. So remember we did lip care? My lips are ready to go. They are still very soft and it's still very moisturized. I'm gonna go a bit pinky nudie for this lip. I'm probably going. So now this is what potentially your wedding day makeup could look like on your wedding day, doing it yourself, following the steps in the video. This is in natural lighting. I think this is absolutely gorgeous. I think it's giving what it needs to give. And these were things that were in my personal kit. So not my pro kit, like literally the things that I would use if I was not a pro makeup artist. And what do you guys think? I think it turned out really good. It definitely changed the lip. So I wanted something a lot softer. But let's just look in this lighting. It's 9:30 and my makeup is still on. I need to take it off, but it still looks good. So I can't wait to upload the video tomorrow.